This was the plague of Justinian, the first known global pandemic, a catastrophe that few remember today, yet its echoes still shape our modern world. Map showing plague spread across the Mediterranean, Europe, and Asia. This is the secret history of how a microscopic killer almost ended civilization, and how the world's greatest empire fought to survive. The world before the plague reenactment of 6th century Constantinople, bustling streets, traders from Africa and Asia. The 6th century. The Roman Empire had fallen in the west, but in the east, it thrived, reborn as the Byzantine Empire under the rule of Emperor Justinian. From his glittering capital, Constantinople, Justinian dreamed of restoring Rome's former glory, uniting Europe and the Mediterranean under a single Christian empire. Construction scenes of Hagia Sophia, Justinian in royal robes. He rebuilt cities, codified laws, and commissioned one of history's most breathtaking monuments, the Hagia Sophia. But while Justinian's ambitions reached the heavens, something sinister was rising from the depths, a force that no army could conquer. The first outbreak: Egyptian docks along the Nile Delta. Grain ships being loaded. Rats scurry on ropes. The year is 541 CE. Ships loaded with grain and goods depart from Egypt, the empire's breadbasket. But these ships carry more than food. Hidden within the grain are black rats, and within those rats, fleas infected with Yersinia pestis, the bacterium behind the Black Death. Microscopic animation of bacteria spreading. The plague struck first in Pelusium, a port on the Nile Delta. Within weeks, it spread like wildfire through the empire's trade routes. By spring of 542, it reached Constantinople, the heart of Justinian's empire. Constantinople streets filled with sick and dying, priests praying. Witnesses described swollen lymph nodes, buboes, blackened skin, delirium, and death within days. At its peak, Constantinople lost up to 10,000 people a day. The city's air filled with the stench of death. Chaos in the capital palace of Justinian, overwhelmed hospitals, mass graves. The empire's mighty capital was paralyzed. Procopius, a court historian, wrote that the bodies of the dead were thrown into the sea, but even the sea refused them. Gravediggers collapsed from exhaustion. Piles of corpses filled the streets. Even the emperor himself, Justinian, caught the plague. Justinian bedridden, Theodora by his side, priests chanting prayers. Miraculously, he survived, but his empire would never be the same. The economy crumbled, trade stopped, crops withered in the fields, and entire villages vanished. Abandoned farms, empty roads, silent markets. This wasn't just a medical disaster, it was an existential one. The empire teetered on the edge of collapse. The spread beyond empire's animated map showing plague spread through Europe, Asia, and Africa. From Constantinople, the plague traveled outward, carried by ships and caravans, merchants and soldiers. It reached the Persian Empire, the Mediterranean islands, Italy, and the Frankish kingdoms of Western Europe. Scenes of medieval monasteries, villages, and port towns ravaged by disease. Even in remote mountain villages, no one was safe. Modern historians estimate that 25% to 50% of the Mediterranean's population perished. Skeletons excavated from plague pits, DNA analysis labs. Recent genetic studies have confirmed it. The Justinian plague was the same strain that would return 800 years later as the Black Death. Humanity was encountering Yersinia pestis for the first time, and it would not be the last. Science behind the scourge animated diagram of flea-rat-human infection cycle. But how did this microscopic killer emerge? Modern science points to Central Asia, where Yersinia pestis evolved in rodent populations. Climate fluctuations may have driven rodents out of their native habitats, forcing them into closer contact with humans. Scientists examining bones, DNA sequencing. Archaeogeneticists discovered plague DNA in teeth from 6th century graves, confirming that the same bacterium was responsible. But the plague of Justinian wasn't just biology, it was a perfect storm of ecology, trade, and empire. The Byzantine Empire's global networks, once its greatest strength, became conduits for contagion. Social collapse and amp, religious panic, priests leading processions, people praying, apocalyptic murals. To many, the plague was a punishment from God. Churches overflowed with the fearful. Processions filled the streets. False prophets claimed the end of days had come. Priests burning incense, citizens throwing offerings into the sea. Superstition spread faster than the disease itself. In Constantinople, social order broke down. Family members abandoned the sick. Slaves fled their masters. Even as the bodies piled high, Justinian's officials struggled to maintain control, issuing decrees on burials, trade, and public behavior. But nothing could stop it. The aftermath: desolate cities, empty farmlands, fading empire. By 549 CE, the worst had passed. The plague lingered for centuries, striking again and again in waves. The consequences were profound. The Byzantine Empire's armies weakened, halting Justinian's dreams of reconquest. The economy collapsed, tax revenues vanished. Vast tracts of land reverted to wilderness. Map showing Arab conquests in following century. A century later, a new force, Islam, rose in the Middle East. Some historians believe the plague's devastation cleared the way for these rapid conquests. The pandemic didn't just kill millions, it reshaped the world map. Lessons and legacy: modern lab comparison, modern pandemics overlay with ancient maps. For centuries, the plague of Justinian was forgotten, overshadowed by the later Black Death. But in the 21st century, new discoveries revived its story. Ancient DNA revealed how Yersinia pestis evolved, spread, and survived through time. Modern scientists handling samples, comparison with COVID-19 data graphs. Today, we recognize patterns that echo eerily through history: global trade spreading invisible pathogens, societies gripped by fear, economies collapsing under unseen pressure. The first pandemic reminds us that humanity's connection, our greatest strength, can also be our greatest vulnerability. Conclusions: sunset over ruins of Constantinople, slow orchestral score. The plague of Justinian was more than a medieval tragedy, it was a turning point. It revealed how disease can redraw the boundaries of civilization, topple empires, and rewrite history itself. Modern cities glowing at night, ships, planes, and bustling trade routes. We live in an age even more connected than Justinian's empire ever was. The question isn't whether another global pandemic will come, but whether we've truly learned from the first one. The Secret History of the First Global Pandemic, The Plague of Justinian, written in AMP, narrated by City